think the plant helps the set? No, I don't think so. Blocks the coffee mug pyramid anyway. Hey, your friendly GM Bobby back for another session of Ask Bobby, the segments where I take your questions and try to give you a reasonably detailed or some sort of an answer. Basically, I'm just going to spit an answer at you and hope you accept it. I know I just did one of these a couple of days ago, but I said I wanted to get on the schedule of doing these around the beginning of the week, so that's why I'm back. Before we get too many questions about it, let's tackle this problem right away. I don't have my complex action mug. I've got a stand-in. It's dirty. It's in the dishwasher. I've got standards, guys. I got to drink out of a clean mug here, all right? And I'm not ambitious enough to go washing that thing by hand. First question comes from YouTube commenter RetroGamer1224 asks, awesome video. Hey, thanks, man. I have more of a meta question. Is the city of Montreal covered anywhere in setting? Now that is a great question. The specific issue of Montreal was answered by another YouTube commenter on that video. They put in there a link to the Drive-Thru RPG page where they sell the Shadows of Montreal book. So yes, the Montreal setting is handled in-game, but I wanted to talk about the issue of world building and different settings in general. Where do you get that kind of information? On the Shadowrun subreddit, they have the World Builder Wednesdays, where every Wednesday they post something about world building. And this is a really cool thing. Go to the Shadowrun subreddit and check out on the side there are links, and one of them is to World Builder Wednesday archives. Check them out. There's all sorts of places that have been highlighted by the community. Lots of people who have taken the time to build settings that they're running their own games in. They write up the details and put it out there to share so that other GMs can enjoy those settings and kind of use it as inspiration. Some of the highlights from that list are the Shadows of Jakarta, Belgrade, what do we got here? Malta, also fictional places like Gotham City. Some players took the time to sit down on the subreddit and talk about what would Gotham City be like if it were in Shadowrun. And my personal favorite, the Shadows of Waffle House. Seriously though, the guy who wrote this Waffle House thing made up this whole awesome backstory and history of what happened to Waffle House after the crash in 29. It was amazing, and it got my brain thinking of something that I want. I challenge you, subreddit community, to give me the Shadows of Chuck E. Cheese. I've already got the inspirational preview here. You ready? Their reliance on robotic entertainment for children left them particularly vulnerable to the crash of 29. Was it code corruption? Or perhaps possession by errant AI? Nobody knows. All that's known is that only fools dare to venture too close to the old restaurant locations. The haunted screams of metal and children can be heard on some nights. A terrible reminder of the bloodbath which ensued those decades ago. Get on it! I want a Shadows of Chuck E. Cheese. Next one comes from Sylvain Cuisine. YouTube commenter says, the Matrix rules give me the most headaches. I think what makes Shadowrun hard to learn is how the rules are spread out all over the book, and sometimes you have to consult 2 different chapters to understand how the mechanics work together. That's a really great point, and that's exactly the reason I started the GM Screen series. I was getting tired of having to go to 4 different places to look up little tidbits of the rule, to cobble it together into one coherent rule, and taking 30 minutes. Wouldn't it be cool if I could just go onto YouTube and then I could just get a video of somebody who has already taken the time to piece those rules together and get them to explain it to me? Now, of course, nobody had done that, so that meant I had to do it. And thus, GM Screen was born. YouTube commenter Waldog asks about technomancers and specifically the complex form puppeteer in Shadowrun 5th edition. So he says, it isn't specified in the rules whether you can make an enemy hurt themselves with an attack action. The Matrix actions in the book are described in the context of an attack. So how would you handle this complex form? This is a really cool question about technomancers. You see, technomancers are kind of like magicians on the Matrix. They can do these things called complex forms that are kind of like spells. The one he's asking about is puppeteer, which allows a technomancer to cause someone else to perform a Matrix action. It's kind of like the Matrix version of doing a control action spell. So the question is, could they use puppeteer to get somebody to harm themselves on the Matrix? The rules for puppeteer don't prevent you from doing that. All it says is that that they can get someone to perform a Matrix action. The real primary question would be, can you use a Matrix action to harm yourself? Like if I'm a decker and I want to data spike myself, can I do that? I did a short look through the Matrix rules and it doesn't look like there's anything prohibiting you from doing that. So on the surface, it looks to me like, yeah, you could use puppeteer to get somebody to attack themselves. Why not? Now, I'm going to leave it up to you guys, who probably know a lot more about the Matrix and technomancy than I do, to let me know if I'm right. But if my reading is correct, then yeah, go ahead, get somebody to hurt themselves. The last couple of questions here weren't asked by anybody in particular. It's just I've gotten a lot of these couple of questions over and over and over again in different forms over the time that I've been doing videos here on YouTube. So I wanted to address them. One of the questions that I get a lot is concerning the actual play posts that I make, or rather the lack thereof lately. So as some of you may know, the genesis of the Complex Action channel was an actual play that I did where I recorded me and some people playing Shadowrun online over Skype in Roll20. And I've got 40-something episodes of those out there right now. Well, a lot of people have been asking me where those episodes have gone. I don't post them anymore. Well, the campaign actually ended. It had to end a little bit abruptly, but I did bring things to a conclusion. Unfortunately, I haven't finished editing those episodes yet. A lot of things have come and gotten in the way. I think I've mentioned before that I've got a new baby coming, and we're trying to get things ready for that, and all sorts of stuff. So I do plan on putting together the last 3 or 4 episodes and putting them out there. And so look forward to that. This leads actually into another question that I get a lot that has to do with the actual play videos. A lot of people ask me what the character sheet that I use on there, what is that character sheet? Roll20 actually allows you to design your own character sheets and use those. There is a Shadowrun character sheet out there. I didn't use it. I didn't think it kind of did all the things that I wanted it to do. So I designed my own, and that's the one that I use. I've had some people ask me whether or not they could have that sheet to use in their Roll20 Shadowrun games, and the answer is yes and no. Yes, I am willing to give the code out to people who want it, but the no part of it is you have to actually be a subscriber to Roll20 in order to have access to use your own custom sheets. So you can have it, but you're not going to get any use out of it unless you're paying to use Roll20. All right, another Ask Bobby episode in the can. I have so much fun doing these. I can't wait to do another one. If you would like to have your question answered, leave it in the YouTube comments and I'll answer it. If you want your question to have priority, make sure that I get to it on one of these segments, then consider becoming a patron. Go over to patreon.com/complexaction. Those of you who are patrons, leave your questions on the Patreon page. Before each one of these episodes, I'm going to put a post up for patrons letting them know to submit their questions there, and that's where I'll be able to see them and know that you're a patron and, blah, blah, blah. I hope you guys enjoyed it again, and bye-bye. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it would. Coffee is I've still got coffee left in the mug. I thought I was gonna have to get more. Yeah. This is probably the first video that I've done, though, that I didn't have to record twice or 3 times, or that a light didn't fall down while I was in the middle of doing it, or the microphone didn't hit me in the head or something like that. So I'm improving.